the week. Time to check in with Chief Meteorologist Mary Matthews. Mary, the snowstorm set to arrive tomorrow appears to have some pretty impressive snow totals projected, at least for parts of our viewing area.
Yeah, certainly so, especially up towards the Denver area, points west into the foothills west of Denver. So it is going to favor higher terrain areas, but you know, it's spring. We have more instability to work with in the atmosphere. We have a couple more dynamics that really could be kind of playing into the forecast here for Thursday. I like to kind of refer to it as the Joker, so, which is the jet stream, and how that's oriented could favor some heavier bands of snow in some locations. Let me show you what I mean. First, let's talk about the cold April air spilling in across the lower 48. Most of the country is trending below average for this time of year, even here in Colorado Springs. Notice that northerly flow that's coming down across the high plains in the upper Midwest. A lot of that cold air is going to start to really usher into the state of Colorado as we move through the overnight hours for tonight. Temperatures have been in the 50s today, a little closer to seasonal for this time of year, even the 60s across the eastern plains. But as this cold air and this wave of really energy starts to swing across the Intermountain West, that's going to help to induce some of the snow and cold that we're going to see as we move through the day on Thursday. Let's talk about winter weather alerts first. Right now, most of the San Juans, areas across the western slope and the high country are under winter storm warnings. Those locations will certainly get in on a good foot of snow in some locations for the central and northern mountains of the Colorado Rockies. Here across the Pikes Peak region, Teller County and northern El Paso County, along with the western side of El Paso County, is under the weather alert that really begins late tonight or really early Thursday morning through Friday morning for some decent snowfall totals. Let me show you how this is going to play out. I really think this is going to kind of come through in two waves here, and I think our high-res model is pinpointing it fairly well. Notice here into the 2-3 o'clock time frame Thursday morning, so that's overnight tonight, we see a band of snow across parts of northern El Paso County stretching down to Colorado Springs. Probably isn't going to look that impressive as you wake up in the morning. I think there'll be a lot of melting initially, and it won't look like much has happened. As we move through Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening, the atmosphere continues to cool. We have more cold air to work with, more moisture, more energy to work with. I do think we could see some heavier totals into Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. That might be one ingredient that I do not think this forecast model might be picking up on. So when I say that, I do think that most of the heavier totals will be across the higher terrain areas such as Teller County, northern El Paso County. But extreme southern Colorado into the Sangre de Cristos and the wet mountains could see some heavier totals. Let me show you the actual snowfall forecast here and kind of give you a little bit of some perspective into what Bart was talking about at the beginning of the segment in terms of impressive totals. So this is only a 10-to-1 ratio, which typically is pretty low in terms of your water ratio and how wet the content of snow initially will be. That could warrant what the pink that you're looking at here is indicative of about 15 to 20 inches in some locations. So Denver, probably a good 4 to 6 inches. Let me show you what we're expecting here across the Pikes Peak region. I went with a 2 to 4 range, but I'm considering increasing this just because of added instability and some of the dynamics that could play into the forecast tomorrow that could make for some heavier totals across the Colorado Springs area. I would not be surprised at all if the National Weather Service elected to really issue a winter weather advisory for the entire county by tomorrow. Right now, it's only northern El Paso County. I just want you guys to know at home that it's fluid and it could certainly change. I think that there's a lot of uncertainty in the forecast for tomorrow, and I do think that we could end up with some heavier totals in some locations considering how much instability we'll likely get, and that's something we're going to have to really watch carefully tomorrow. Temperatures in the 20s and 30s, so we do expect road conditions to be treacherous by tomorrow afternoon, especially if not already tomorrow morning, hence the weather alert that stays out. Parts of Beulah Valley, areas across southwestern Pueblo County, Pueblo proper, 2 to 4 inch ranges there, and closer to a foot in parts of Rye and Beulah could be possible in some of those locations, and the 40s and 50s for tomorrow, the 30s and 40s across parts of the Arkansas River Valley, and it's certainly going to continue to be cold on Thursday. We break out with some sunshine on Friday. We do clear out and dry out. Let me zip you through these 7-day forecasts because I've got to wrap it up. But Woodland Park will be back up into the 50s for the weekend. So Thursday, expect snowy conditions, the weather alert to stay in place. And remember, this is a very fluid storm. It's going to continue to bring some nuances to the region. I know what everyone's thinking. Aren't they all like that? But springtime snowstorms are oftentimes the trickiest because of added daytime heating, more instability, and sometimes we get these jet stream dips that induce more lift for us and more favorable dynamics. So Colorado Springs, temperatures in the 30s tomorrow. Snow showers expected, especially by the afternoon and evening hours, and much colder temperatures. We'll keep you posted on the latest, of course.
Very
Back to you, Bart.
active week. All right, Mary, thanks. Over to Rob.
College football and